Пятый принял. Расчет пуск!
The Russian Iskander-M tactical ballistic missile system continues to redefine the nature of modern warfare. In the ongoing phase of the Ukraine conflict, this weapon isn't just used to strike the front lines. It's deployed to hunt down high-value assets, including the American-made HIMARS rocket system, a weapon long celebrated by NATO as a symbol of Western technological dominance. One of the clearest examples comes from a precision strike near the village of Sredny Burluk in northeastern Ukraine. Footage released by the Russian Ministry of Defense shows the moment an Iskander missile slams into a hidden HIMARS position, followed by a chain of secondary explosions as stored munitions ignite. According to Russian claims, one HIMARS launcher, one resupply truck, 2 support vehicles, and over a dozen Ukrainian personnel were wiped out in a single strike. Whether every number is accurate or not, the message behind it is clear. Russia is systematically targeting long-range Western artillery systems and learning fast. The Iskander-M is not just another missile. It's a statement, both political and technological. Traveling at hypersonic speeds and guided by a mix of satellite and optical systems, it's built to destroy hardened, well-protected, high-value targets with surgical precision. In this particular case, the HIMARS launcher had been hidden under a canopy of trees. But Russian reconnaissance drones detected the heat signature beneath the foliage. Once coordinates were confirmed, the Iskander was launched. And seconds later, impact. The detonation was massive, a blinding flash, a wave of shock, and then a series of secondary blasts as GMLRS rockets cooked off in the inferno. Analysts believe the missile may have used a high-explosive fragmentation or even an airburst warhead optimized to scatter shrapnel across a wide area. It's the kind of strike that illustrates Russia's evolution on the battlefield, from mass firepower to precision, intelligence-driven warfare. From the early days of the war, HIMARS was hailed as a game-changer, a weapon that could rewrite the rules of combat. Western media portrayed it as unstoppable, describing how its rockets could hit supply depots, bridges, and command centers with pinpoint accuracy. For months, HIMARS became synonymous with Ukrainian success. But battlefield reality is rarely that simple. While HIMARS remains highly capable, it's not invincible. Russia has adapted, improving its surveillance, learning the launcher's patterns, and striking when it's most vulnerable. And here's where NATO's strategy faces criticism. The alliance seemed overconfident, believing that technological superiority alone could offset Russia's adaptation. In practice, precision systems are only as safe as the intelligence that protects them. Each destroyed launcher doesn't just reduce Ukraine's firepower, it chips away at the image of Western invulnerability. In war, myths fade fast, and this one is no exception. The northeastern front, from Chuguev to Kupiansk, has become one of the most strategically important theaters in the conflict. This region isn't just open countryside, it's a logistics corridor connecting Ukraine's interior to its eastern defenses. HIMARS units often operate here, far enough from the front to avoid artillery fire, yet close enough to hit deep Russian positions. That same advantage, however, makes them prime targets. Russia's response has been straightforward: find them, fix them, and eliminate them, using a mix of drones, satellites, and Iskander strikes. This pattern has become increasingly visible, suggesting a tactical evolution, a kind of cat-and-mouse warfare fought through data, speed, and precision. The real question is, why isn't NATO offering stronger protection for these launchers? Was it overconfidence, assuming Russia couldn't detect them? Or perhaps something deeper, a willingness to treat Ukraine as a live-fire testing ground for Western weaponry? Many military analysts are starting to describe Ukraine as an unofficial proving ground for NATO's advanced systems. And when weapons like HIMARS get destroyed, the lesson is brutal, but real. The destruction of a single HIMARS may not change the course of the war overnight, but strategically it sends a loud message. No Western system is untouchable. For Russia, such victories boost morale and serve as proof that adaptation works. For Ukraine, each loss adds pressure, forcing them to relocate faster, hide better, and rethink how they deploy their limited launchers. And for NATO, it's a reminder that technology without tactical depth is a fragile form of power. Wars are not won by the most advanced machines, but by the side that learns faster. And in this long, grinding conflict, both sides are evolving in real time, testing doctrines, tactics, and endurance. Russia is refining its counter-battery warfare. Ukraine is refining its mobility. And NATO is watching, perhaps realizing that the battlefield is exposing truths that no simulation ever could. The strike near Sredny Berluk is more than a battlefield report. It's a snapshot of a larger shift, a transition from the age of shock and awe to the age of precision and adaptation. HIMARS remains a symbol of Western engineering, but the Iskander has become a symbol of how quickly an adversary can learn. This war continues to evolve, day by day, strike by strike, reminding the world that in modern combat, superiority is temporary, and every advantage has an expiration date. Some visuals in this video were created with the help of AI technology to illustrate tactical and geographical context. Due to limited access to authentic footage from active war zones, these visuals are conceptual and not meant to depict the exact real-world events.